This guy's hugging the corners. Student driver. Pretty good, though. He's about to do a little turn into this Tuxedo, maybe. Or maybe... No? He's making sure it's 25 feet before the blinker. Or is it more than 25 feet? There he goes. He's going to hug that corner. Watch this. No wide right. There we go. Got it. Nailed it. Remember when you were a student driver? You always hugged those corners. Sweating. Back hurt because you were sitting up so straight. Blinker would go on like 100 yards before you'd make the right-hand turn. Like the idea that the shot takes place on a hill far away. It goes from landscape into something like this highway where there's other stuff and it's done all in one take. I love that. I don't have to talk about it. I did, but you know what I mean. It's very Sam is it Sam Mendes? The guy that did 1917, Sam Raimi, sorry. It's very Sam Raimi. So I'm in one of those kicks where I'm like, what's the name again? Shooter, Jeep, Liza, and Lupe. That's action. It's plotless, it's stark. So, you know, I heard he wrote it in London. Some even call it post-apocalyptic. Some say it's a detached from community because of the small Christmas tree that's called for. There's a dead fish that's called for. He calls to break a chair. Sam liked to really break stuff on stage. But action, stark, plotless. That was from another review, though. It wasn't my review. If you go to the Wikipedia of Action, the play, it'll talk about a little bit. It even gives a character list. Jeep and Shooter, Lupe and Liza. Jeep, Shooter, Lupe, Liza. That's a good tongue twister. Jeep, Shooter, Lupe, Liza. You have that Liza. Jeep, Shooter, Lupe, Liza. He wrote for the actor. Sam Shepard did. He wrote stuff for the actor. Because why would he not? Why would he write for anyone else? And most of us do. You know, they'll go to the interviews, this was written for the farmers. No, it was written for the actors. If it's done in theater or if it's done in film, it was written for actors. As much as they would say, no, it was written for the specific character. Nope, for the actor. Sorry. It's written for the actor. All his stuff was. All your stuff is, if you're a playwright or an actor or a filmmaker, it's written for the actors. Because they use their bodies to tell that story. And once you give your body over to something, you give them everything. Your time, your voice, everything. That's your life that you give them. It's written for the actors. Meaning, the actor steps forward in a sacrificial way as like a living sacrifice and says, you may use me, right? That's like a living sacrifice. That's what you are kind of as an actor. And that's what Sam Shepard kind of wrote about. I think he wrote about living sacrifice. Sam Shepard. I think there's religious components big time. Quoting the Bible left and right. He just doesn't do it all the time. And he's not dogmatic about it. He's not like a Bible thumper at all, but I think it's all over his work. Gotta remember Sam Shepard for sure. There's even more movies and play versions, more recordings of the plays of what what he's done. My goodness. Yeah, it's a lot of footage. It's a heck of a war in art. What one of my old girlfriends before I left to California would call it, Christina Reyes was her name. She called it Star Wars. Yeah. There's a Star Wars kind of thing. These people at a war with the stars. Monster in a box. You got these cats coming off on red eyes all day. Airport, remember, a plane that comes through, $27,000 just a taxi. Just do the math. Anybody, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into the money. Money's something you don't want to talk about that. Airport, ka-ching. There goes Skylink over this way. When it comes to filmmaking, though, I think Quentin Tarantino is Shakespeare. Because, for one thing, he likes to have fun. He writes things with a musical quality. And he's philosophical as crap. And he's got those one-liners that you don't forget, just like Shakespeare, to be or not to be. I'm trying to think of a Quentin Tarantino line. Let's go get some tacos. Remember that from Reservoir Dogs. All I know, you could be the rat. You could be the rat. I added that one. Sorry about that. knowing my luck, if I ever take an airplane flight, it'd probably be at night, and it would be cloud cover. Oh, there goes Skylink over there. And you could barely see anything, you know, but you can hear the airplane. You got this one showing off over here, or this way. Right, that way. You can hear it, you know, or something. Like, you can't really see anything, but you can hear the airplane. Interesting conversation. See that again. There we go. So what can happen is, it's hard to explain, but because this parking garage is not the same as that parking garage over there, and sometimes you have to move to another parking garage. Plus you only got, I was gonna say about 45 minutes rather than an hour, because these are 1 hour lots, meaning spaces that you park at. It's really 1 hour, but I only do 45 minutes. I give myself 15 minutes to get there, blah, blah. So I'm gonna spin around, go back to this garage over this way, so I can get better area for, you know, for the ride. These are usually the times where you either slightly jog or walk very, very fast. Another thing that's hard about this is all one direction, so you got to spin all the way around. I usually try not to do this, but for certain passengers and stuff like that, I usually, you know, try to accommodate more kind of comfort things. So I've showed it a little bit, but all we're doing is going from one garage to another. Copyright off. And I try not to do this, so we'll find out if it works out this time, because a lot of times you lose in doing this because you always want to stay like with the client, you know, stay with them close. But if you feel that it would be easier for them, let's say an older person or a person that doesn't, you know, blah, 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 whatever, I don't want to get into the details, then you make it more comfortable and more convenient for them, and then you haul back to the other parking garage. I don't show all this. I show kind of a repetition I get stuck in, and I try not to talk about it at all. You could probably do all this, make an incredible vlog without saying a single word, maybe, but it does help to try to explain it to a certain degree. A lot of reasons why, but anyway, we're going to the middle parking garage. We were on the far end. And it can take some time for the luggage depending on how things go, but if you don't do this quick enough, they grab the luggage and go. You know, they're not gonna wait at all. So, you know, I missed it. See what I did right there? So that was where I needed to go, and I miss it every time too. So I gotta find out which one I'm on. Okay, I know the one I'm on. Okay, hang on. Don't do this at all. If I would have missed this, then I would have missed the whole thing. So don't do that. That's what you don't want to do. You didn't see it. So do not do that. So I had to cross over because I always do it every time. I don't know how. These are very secretive. These have to be studied. These types of airports where they spin around and stuff like that. It may have only given me that option from that particular lot. So usually I go to the first early ones, 1 through 7 or whatever. I'm going to the middle one. So I came out of this one, and I think it leads you right to the exit, right? Which is kind of a dumb move on the engineer of it all. I'm not saying the engineer wasn't brilliant altogether. This is a brilliant airport, but they should have made that a little easier to do. But it still can be done. That's staying within the same terminal, but getting on the exit part of it. Okay, now there's another thing I have to do. Yeah, I think I'm on the right. I think I'm in the right area. You don't want to waste a single second doing this. Okay. Now the number is going to be E15. Okay. This should be correct. I can't see it from there. Yeah, I don't think it is. Okay. Darn it. Okay, so now, right, yeah, this is right. So we want to be at E15. Yep, this is correct. Cool. Hang on. See, so that's valet. Okay. There's one right there. This should be good, right? All right. Good. And also, while you're doing it, turn the phone on too. Okay, man, I'll tell you what, this werewolf movie is going to be great. Great thing that guy did. Great, complete genius. I don't know where he was from. I can't think where he was from. But he was kind of like looking through his phone and stuff. I believe he had his wife on the phone, but he was kind of growling. People have that in their nature, you know. I do put it a little bit with Rainy Love, but I might add that note to Grace for when Gerald is a little intoxicated. He had a couple of drinks on the plane. Maybe a little bit of growling going on, which I haven't really mentioned. But, you know, I don't know. We could talk about that. That's something we could talk about. Because I like the fact that Gerald's a good guy. He's ex-ministry. He claims to be a gypsy. I like that about him. He's bust out and he says that he was a gypsy. Whether he's telling the truth or not, we don't know. You got to read Gerald Oldman III's character, but he might do a little bit of growling. There is growling in the script a little bit. We'll talk about it. Yeah. I know. I was going slow. Yeah, sorry. Jesus, always add your contacts. Keep your contacts going. Okay. Name them something, you know. I always go by a first name kind of thing when I'm doing this kind of stuff, or I give them like nicknames. Learned that from John Bunyan. He talks about it. It's not always a good thing. Emails are good too, because emails give information. I mean, people like that kind of stuff, you know. We're in that kind of society. I usually just give out my first name. If they need they usually get my full name anyway. I usually give them my full name. And I have a card. I do have a business card. So I give them that information as well. So I keep in contact. If you want to get their full information or they give it, then put it down. But you don't have to ask for it. You can give them like the first name and a nickname. Or you can do full name. I wouldn't do like that. I wouldn't really ask that, you know. You got their information. The reason why is because if they text you, and this happens, you can communicate with them. And it's difficult doing this kind of like stuff, you know. Now, in your love with paid training, I call it secret Uber, okay? The secret Uber. So you just do first name and a nickname, whatever. You can put notes too. I'm gonna go back and make some notes about the last one. Big dude, you know, likes, he kind of growls, that kind of thing. Because that way you can remember who they are, you know, because you put like a little information description on the type of person they are, or what you remember about them. Big dude, growls, you know, that kind of thing. I call him the growler. So the note that I left was, I'm not gonna say his full name, it started with G, the growler, okay. Big dude, while searching, kind of growls and talks in a business professional manner, resonant voice. So Elvis was originally signed by Sun. Elliott Smith was on a label called Kill Rock Stars. Sparkle Horse was signed by Capitol Records. Pretty serious. There you are, you're over there. Capitol Records signed him. It's pretty serious, and he was very artsy too. Who signed Daniel Johnston? I'm gonna look it up. I know he was on an Apple commercial. I'm gonna check out who signed Daniel Johnston. So Daniel Johnston was signed by Yip I Music, Atlantic, and Stress Records. He's lo-fi, avant pop, alternative, outsider music. So he made the outsider music genre. Now he didn't make it up. He didn't make it up by far. There's an outsider music genre that's been around for a while, but he made, like, he fit into the outsider music thing. I almost don't agree with that. I think I could say I could say it's safe to say that he was very close to almost being kind of commercial. He was just way ahead of his time. He could have been very big, like the Beatles and stuff, even though those were delusional thoughts from his parents and from his friends. They weren't. He was that talented of a musician. He was extremely talented. Listen to the music. Listen to the song "Spirit World Rising." Like, I have been to Abilene, Spirit World Rising. I have seen in Abilene, the devil has Texas. He was an incredible lyricist, and he sounded like a child and kind of had a lisp and just banged the piano. It was complete genius. You know, Kurt Cobain, who was basically like our modern day Elvis, knew this stuff. You know, Kurt Cobain could have been a great music critic. He knew so much about music, just like Stephen Patrick Morrissey, you know, was a great critic. I'm still sounding like I'm talking to a vlog. I need to sound like I'm talking to a friend, but you know what I mean. Daniel Johnston was great. So was Kurt. Kurt was good too. They both had different things that were killing them. They were both, you know, they were both challenged in different ways. Kurt had a problem with hunger, and then Daniel had a problem with hunger. They just expressed it differently, and they were after the same kind of thing. They wanted to escape the hunger with music. I love how clean the road is. They redid this whole road. I'm also kind of weird about people passing while I'm shooting. It's like extras that I don't need. You know what I mean? I like the fact that it's just a road and nothing else. I'm kind of crazy, a filmmaker like that. And these cars come in, and that's reality. It looks like I'm going backwards. There's nothing I can do about it. But I go on anyway. But I like, well, that's where they were, you know, that's what they did right there. But you know, the thing is about outsider music, it's like no one really falls in that genre. There was like only like a few. There was that dude that I consider him outsider music. I cannot think of his name, but he wrote a song about Vampire Bat, that guy. He was outsider music. outsider music is almost like people are like, what is this? You know what I mean? They're like, this is the worst thing ever, you know? But I don't think Daniel Johnston was like that. You know, I wouldn't, when I listened to it, I never really thought outsider music. But I guess it kind of is, you know. I mean, you could really say that Kurt Cobain, before he got involved in Nirvana, was outsider music. He would have been. But they became very much on the inside, you know, like insider music. Like they were the Beatles for America. They were big time famous in like a very commercial way. I mean, they were like Michael Jackson, you know, famous. Basically like the king of grunge is what Nirvana, you know, what Kurt Cobain was like the king of grunge. Like Elvis kind of famous. Like they were huge, big internationally. Everybody throwing stuff all around. Everybody knows this, but I love how the road is clean though. See how it's clean? It's kind of cool. It's cool because there's a moon like right behind that main building, Fort Worth. It's all like a red sickle. It's like a red sickle moon. It's kind of crazy. I guess a lot of vloggers are probably outside media, you know, outside news, you know, avant-garde news, I don't know. You know, poor man's MTV. MTV's not like really anything. I liked when Matt Penfield was doing it, you know, we had 120 minutes, talk about Joy Division. I mean, come on, it's got to be something, you know. MTV would never really talk about Joy Division. If you want to learn about Joy Division, you either have to look it up in a book or you know, like turn it on YouTube. That's what kids have for music now. It's MTV, like YouTube. It's like, you know, it's MTV kind of in a way. They show movies. MTV eventually did start showing movies. Now they're sponsoring documentaries. My friend, what's her name? She's out in Brooklyn. Yellow Belly Film Productions. Trish Gillespie. She was sponsored by she was funded by MTV Movies for her documentary, The Fire Took Her. So like MTV is kind of like a music. It's a movie studio now as well as music. It's like a hip kind of movie studio. I didn't know this until I found out, you know, that Trish was sponsored by them. But you know, anybody can like get behind the movie business. You know, anybody. You know, I mean, I know YouTube does, but like anybody can. I mean, Google's doing it. Google does movies now. I don't know. You know, anybody can get behind it in different ways. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say something about the Smashing Pumpkins. Talking about Smashing Pumpkins. They have a new concert or tour. The tour. Or it's at least a concert. They redid their Tower Record experience on Siamese Dream. So what they did was they played Siamese Dream. Because they did a Tower Records concert that got... the people were jumping up and down and almost... Anyway, you just have to see it as a timer went off. A long time ago, Tower Records did a concert with Smashing Pumpkins, and the audience almost caved in the floor of this building. So they redid it just recently, a couple days ago, at a concert, Tower Records, Siamese Dream concert. Billy's pretty good. He got married. Really forward to getting married. It's pretty cool. The Merry Man. Marriage makes you happy. Marriage makes you happy. Happy on the inside. It makes you eat too much. Sometimes until your side hurts. Oh, marriage. No, he got married, so they revamped the Tower Record tour, or it was a Tower Record concert, And I don't know if he's taking it on the road or if it's just one concert, but I saw it on YouTube. It was pretty good. The version I saw was kind of a little bit skitsy, you know, like sometimes it would turn and like there was some sound issues, but not with what they really did. They just did that so they could post it on YouTube, like all the YouTube trash stuff that's on there. Some YouTube stuff is good. You know, if you're going to start a band, put it on YouTube, you know. Don't stay away from SoundCloud. Put it on YouTube. Get your music on YouTube. Just, you know, press a button, be your own producer. That's what we kind of do. We're still working on a song, though. The song's called Wild Burning Eyes. I did put it on Sparkle Horse. It kind of depresses me. I don't really like that so much. Here is something, Oh Lord, Be My Helper, Psalms 30:10. All right? We're going to go see Kitty and Linda. I have to see how she feels if we do a recording. I did do a recording. I haven't done the video yet. I need to listen to it. No kitty. Oh, there he is. Marlon Brando kitty. Come on, kitty. Yeah, just tear up the side of the furniture. I really don't care. More power to you, kitty. Did mommy feed you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, that's good. You fed him like just a while ago, or like how long? Did you feed him, you fed him like an hour ago, or, cause I don't, okay, cause he gets squirrely.
Yeah, I fed him an hour ago, almost the whole day.
So you're putting the food on the bed? Hey, I was wondering, I wonder if you'd play the recorder for me on this one thing that I was working on. Well, we have not been doing that. I think we need to do it every once in a while. Like play. You're too stuffed? Yeah, that could be a problem. She plays the recorder. But anyway, I don't know. Tomorrow? Okay, let me lay the song out for you.